Okay, folks, it's your buddy Mike Messier, and I have a very animated wave. I know it's not the most masculine of waves. I don't know if there is a masculine wave, but I do like an over-the-top, childlike wave. Larry Steve, professional wrestler, Alexa Bliss's beloved pig. Yes, in case you don't know, this very accomplished, and just to be honest, quite beautiful young women's wrestler. She's probably just about, I would guess, between 27 and 32. Alexa Bliss, I believe she was a competitive bodybuilder. Short lady, about 5 feet tall. Very popular for pro wrestling fans. One of the better performers, currently under contract to World Wrestling Entertainment. Looks similar in the face and hair a lot to Margot Robbie, the actress. And Alexa could easily be a Hollywood actress. I would basically say that if she were to leave wrestling, WWE at least, and become a full-time actress, she could be an action star. And basically, if a film could not afford Margot Robbie, they could get Alexa Bliss, for a cheaper price. And that's no insult to Margot Robbie at all, or to Alexa Bliss. Fan of both of their work. Now, one thing that I will say, I was given a request for a rant about Larry Steve passing away, and more specifically, some of the people online insulting Alexa and her deceased pet, and just my comments on people giving her a hard time, trying to provoke her, or people making commentaries. And I didn't see a whole lot of negative commentary. I'm guessing that some of the tweets that were negative have been erased by now or blocked, because I'm doing this kind of late night, 11 o'clock on a Wednesday. And I did see someone on Twitter, I guess I'll say their name, their handle, or should I not give them the credit? But it was someone called Tech Historian, their Twitter handle, and basically said, this is what you get for having a farm animal as a pet, white people, period. And then, of course, a lot of people jumped in, and, I didn't examine the Tech Historian's Twitter account to look for private pictures of the person, but it could be that it's not even a white. It could be not even a black, not even a non-white person tweeting that. I don't know why I assumed black. It could have been Asian. Who knows? The person. It could have been a white person tweeting that themselves, trying to be provocative. And in which case, what can we say? So, to me, a lot of people went back and insulted the person, and someone mentioned Mike Tyson, who was not white, and owning carrier pigeons as pets. And this is how we're all kind of on eggshells, and we're all trigger finger happy, looking to fight, looking to get into a conflict. Today, someone made a suggestion, my buddy Johnny Z made a suggestion for me to do some research on these Ultimate Warrior videos, and I don't know to what extent Johnny knows, but I'm kind of sensitive when it comes to that Ultimate Warrior video that the WWE did over probably 10 years ago now, that self-destruction video. I'm sensitive because I feel like it was a hit piece. And now my fear with these Dark Side of the Ring, especially apparently, people are saying, I guess his wife's upset about it. The point is that I'm getting to is everyone's got their trigger points. Everyone's got their things that they're sensitive about. On social media, there's no, anytime you're typing, could be an email, could even be a handwritten letter, I guess, if you think about it. Anytime that the word is in writing, things like humor, or sarcasm, or nuance, or what did you really mean when you wrote that? All that stuff gets convoluted and lost in the mix. And this has been going on, at least for me, since email, since the early days of email. I remember getting into these long-winded email battles with people when a simple phone call would squash the situation in 5 minutes. I'm getting a little bit off the topic here, but I'm just trying to get to a bigger point, which is, there's several points on this Larry Steve topic. First of all, I guess you'd say, should she, meaning Alexa, have adopted this pet in the first place? Apparently, this was something that was on Total Divas, the WWE Women's Wrestling show, about their backstage lives. Of course, I always ask the question, why did they get rid of the Divas title but keep the Total Divas show? If Divas is a bad word for the actual wrestling, why is it okay to have a show called Total Divas? But that question never seems to get answered to my fullest desire. Now, I would think, because, just my opinion, because I don't watch Total Divas religiously at all, but seeing the clips today, trying to do some research, it seems like, was Alexa, getting this pet pig, and it seems like her friend Nia Jax purchased the pig for her as a gift. Was this something that was kind of encouraged by the WWE itself? As in, a cute little pig who becomes a big, pig would be an interesting character for television. The dichotomy being that this pig is owned, by one of the most beautiful women on television, Alexa Bliss. I don't know. I can't say that it was provoked, but it kind of felt that way because it was featured on Total Divas. And that's not to say that Alexa didn't actually own the pig, but until this year of COVID, you would think that she was on the road wrestling a lot for the WWE, and I guess her family took care of the pig when she was not in town. And by family, I think she's still pretty close with her parents. They're still with us, still alive. So, and the other interesting aspect that I did not know, because I heard of Larry Steve the pig before, but I never really looked into it. He was a deaf pig, meaning that the pig could not hear. So we assume that this pig, but I don't know the fucking origins of this farm that she got the pig. Was Larry Steve ever going to be up for slaughter, to be quite honest? And we don't know the answer. I have a feeling he wasn't. And so, not to say that she saved his life, but she gave him probably more of an interesting life than a deaf pig otherwise might get. Let's put it that way. Now, the sad thing comes when the pig, who's now, is he 180 pounds or 150 pounds or however much the pig weighs, big pig, apparently she was out of town for some reason. She was in Tampa for WWE, and her family in Orlando, if I'm getting the cities correct, were trying. Something was wrong with the pig, with Larry Steve the pig, and she was trying to get help. The family was trying to get help, but no veterinarian, the normal veterinarian, and 12 other veterinarians, if I've got this right, did not want to come and save the pig because they feared. They feared the size of the animal, maybe with COVID things. They didn't know if they could help the pig. They didn't want the pig coming into their office. COVID has become the, not to mix metaphors here, but the dog ate my homework for everything, or the get out of jail free card. Like, nobody really wants to do anything now. And the big excuse for everything is COVID. Oh, can't do it, COVID. Can't pay my taxes, COVID. Can't go to that funeral, COVID. Can't pay my rent, COVID. Can't give you an orgasm, COVID. Whatever the fuck it is, people just don't want to do anything because of COVID. These vets didn't want to help the pig. And sad to say, Larry Steve has passed away. Now, here's where things get tricky. And I'm not trying to be insulting to Alexa, or whatever her real name is, Lexi Kaufman. That's been established. That's her Twitter feed. But I'm just saying, to me, my initial thought when I saw her kind of confessional video, I say confessional, it's a real world TV show illusion. I'm not saying that she had to confess anything, but seeing her do her video where she's talking about the pig passing away and she's very upset, and people need to be better, and she's talking about the veterinarians that didn't help the pig. And it's, to be honest, it's a little heartbreaking because, and maybe it's because she's so fucking attractive, let's be honest, but to see her eyes, her beautiful light blue eyes, and the pink, you know, her eye underneath her eyelids, she's just depressed, and she's sad, and you can tell she's been crying, and I assume and trust that these are legitimate. This is not a come on, this is not a facade. She's legitimately distraught, and she's been crying for hours, and it's a little heartbreaking, to be quite honest. So you'd have to be a real prick to not feel for this lady. And if you've ever experienced the loss of a pet, which I have, I'm sure most of you have, it's not fun. And so yes, on a human level, it's a little heartbreaking, or quite heartbreaking. And I was not even a fan of the show, so I wasn't familiar with all the theatrics of this Larry the Pig, you know what I mean? Or Larry Steve. So I didn't know all this stuff. I tried to do some research today to give you an informed opinion. But you can feel. You'd have to be a real jerk not to feel for this girl, regardless of how much money she has, or the circumstances of Larry Steve's demise. And apparently some of the early Twitter feedback was, oh, she should have been there with him, and, you know, she shouldn't have had him in the first place, and all this accusations. And I don't know what to say about all that, you know what I mean? Like I said, I would assume, but I don't know, that if she did not adopt this deaf pig as a small little piglet, I don't know what would have happened to Larry Steve. Would he have stayed on the farm and just been the little deaf pig who whatever? I mean, do pigs need to hear? I mean, I don't really know. I don't know that much about it. Moving forth, though, I think for me, once again, putting this all into context, as I'm watching the video, as I'm reacting, knee-jerk reaction, is to think, why do you have to put this on camera? Like, why? Meaning the actual video of her talking about the pig now no longer being with us, and kind of putting a somewhat of a blame on these veterinarians for not doing better. And I just start thinking about, man, I want, and although I do these videos and I eat, you know, sandwiches on camera and ice cream sandwiches, and as people have been commentating, but, you know, to put your personal kind of blood and guts stuff out there for the world, and I know I've done some videos like that, my Vince Russo interview, where I've opened up, but I guess just watching her do this thing, to me, it's like, okay, are we at this point in our culture? And the answer is yes. I know the answer. Where everything that a certain amount of the population need to do, which is celebrity or wannabe celebrity or people that consider themselves a celebrity in their own mind, everything you do, does that have to be shared as a communal thing, right? And I'm wondering, would she have been better off to mourn in private? And only until a few minutes ago, when I fully, like, she's doing this Larry Steve tribute thing, and she's got her boyfriend with the pink hair, and they're doing like a 2-hour video for Larry Steve on his, because today happened to be his birthday, his 4th birthday. So his birthday, the pigs, is actually the day after he passed on. So they're trying to do this whole thing, and I'm like, you know what? This is a little bit out of my range. This is a grieving process. I'm not here to criticize. I'm just here to observe that, isn't it, we've changed as people, okay? And now, and look, I'm doing this as well. I'm doing this straight to camera thing in my car. I could be going home and going to sleep. I could be doing anything. But I'm taking the time, because a viewer requested to make this video. Now the part of life that was once private, mourning, death of a pig, death of a friend, death of a whatever, now it's an interactive thing. Now Alexa or Lexi, she shares her pain, she shares her sorrow, and she kind of, does she expect, or does she knows that people are going to say stuff. She's not going to put this video out there and have stone cold silence and nobody says anything one way or the other. I mean, she knows there's going to be a reaction. And I guess on some level, she's looking for vindication, approval, encouragement. She's whatever it is. But when I started looking at the thread on Twitter of Lexi Kaufman, Alexa Bliss's, deceased pig posts, what she's getting is what people typically get when someone dies, which is everyone's response is, "Oh, I know how you feel. My cat just died. My dog died 10 years ago, and I still have this wonderful picture of him as a puppy." And everybody's posting on her thing about her dead fucking friend, Larry Steve the Pig. Everyone's taking this opportunity to post their dead pet pictures on her thread. And this is exactly what it's like in real life. Unfortunately, I know this. When someone passes away and you start telling people that someone in your life passed away, everybody's got a comment of their fucking pain and misery story. And so I've become real conscious now. If somebody tells me that someone close to them or someone died in their life, I purposely do not mention the people that I know that have died. Because to me, and I think some samba music going on, hopefully that doesn't get a copyright infringement. God, it's playing this samba music pretty loud. Let's just wait, because I might have to take that music out, because I can't believe how that person vehicle's like 50 yards away and I'm right in the middle of this samba. I'm in the middle of this serious pig dead thing, and I got fucking Ricky Ricardo over here. Okay, here we go. No offense, Ricky or Lucy fans, or whatever the fuck. And no offense if that music wasn't from Cuba, where Ricky Ricardo was from, if that was Brazilian music or whatever. Hashtag, I don't know. Anyway, going back to the pig story, there was this guy kind of walking around the parking lot, and I think he was kind of getting in on the action, like listening to me talk about these things. That's why I was a little nervous. That's why I thought he might come over here and shoot me in the head, but he didn't. So, next point of contention is things have just changed. Things are just different. Now, it's expected if you're a celebrity, and even if you're not, if you're just an attractive female especially, it's like, just go online and talk about all your fucking crazy shit. And that's just how people are now. And your thought might be, well, Mike, here you are. Yes, it's true. So here I am. But back in the fucking day, what would we do without these smartphones? You know, what would we do? Like I said, I'm not trying to pick on Alexa or Lexi. So I'm being respectful because I feel that her life really is, part of it is being taped all the time. Like for me, I can pick and choose when I do these videos, and I choose to do them quite a bit. But for Alexa / Lexi, if she's doing the Total Divas show and her work is on television, even in character, and she's doing all these interview shows with WWE and these documentaries, for them in that wrestling bubble or that WWE bubble, that's all she knows. So she doesn't know, or maybe she's forgotten, or maybe it's difficult because of her life to separate, you know, grieving and that process and personal time away from camera time. Or maybe it's part of the deal. You know, maybe that's part of her deal. And what I'm saying is, okay, we got her, but what about other people? I mean, have you noticed that pretty much every female you know now is an Instagram model, or she's a this, or she's an actress, or she's something. So just my thought is, and I was going to say my point is, but I held back and I said my thought. My thought really is just a feeling when I was watching, because then she's tweeting, Lexi is tweeting, please check out, or not even please, but here's the Larry Steve tribute will be on at fucking 7 o'clock on my Instagram channel. I'm like, okay, now I gotta check this out. So I click over, and it opens with her and her pink-haired boyfriend, and he's greatly enamored with the process of wondering if the camera is rolling or not. He talks about that for about 3 minutes. She's sitting there, sans makeup, and of course she's cute anyway without the makeup, and look, I'm just being honest with my feelings. As a judgmental guy that I am, seeing the pink-haired boyfriend, it's like, oh, he's like her purse. he's like her handbag that once he gets a few wears and tears on him, she'll throw him out and get another one. I don't know their relationship, if they're married, if they're serious. I don't know. I don't care. But just the feeling that I get is he's there as an accessory to her. I could be fucking wrong. Maybe the guy's got a brilliant life that I don't know about. Maybe he's some fucking awesome guy. But it just feels like he's a handbag that to go around her shoulder, and when his, you know, when he gets boring, she'll move on. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Or maybe he'll get bored with her, right? So anyway, that's my first thought. Then I kind of skip ahead in the video, and they're interviewing another young woman wrestler, Ember Moon, I believe. And I could be wrong, but last time I checked, Ember had some type of serious foot or ankle or leg injury, knee injury, and her career was more or less over as an in-ring talent. Am I wrong? Is that been resolved? Is she coming back? Are my lights burnt out now? No? Okay, good. So my thought is just, do I have any light? It's getting a little scary in here. I hope I didn't burn my... Anyway, I'm just thinking, Ember Moon's here, Alexa's here, and Ember's kind of talking about how she was afraid of Larry Steve because he was always so big, and they're like, oh, he was a little, you know, piglet, and, you know, and he was 4 pounds, and I'm just like, okay, I'm not trying to demean the situation, but I have a life to live now too, and I get it. We're mourning the loss of this pig, and people are watching this because I guess they feel like, once again, they live vicariously through the wrestlers. So some of the fans out there feel a connection to Larry Steve the pig. One Twitter person said, I stopped, you know, Larry Steve is one of the reasons why I hesitate before I eat pork. Okay, it's getting pretty deep here, folks. So I guess I just didn't have the stomach or whatever the fuck. My phone kind of froze up too, and I wanted to cut this video before I retired for the evening, and I guess I had just seen enough, and it really what it came down to, the words generation gap. Okay, like I can remember when the first WWF action figures came out, you know, Hulk Hogan, Iron Sheik, and I guess for me, you know, being a little kid and excited to go buy these Hulk Hogan Iron Sheik figures, and my mom would take me to Bradley's to buy these Iron Sheik figures. To some kid out there, that's like watching Larry Steve at Alexa Bliss on Instagram. You know, like for some kid, although he wasn't a wrestler, and he was never, as far as I know, on a WWE official show besides the Total Divas show, but Larry Steve was like Matilda, the British Bulldog's dog, or Damien, the snake, for Jake the Snake. So Larry Steve had some type of role in people's lives, okay? So just like the WWE, they kind of manipulated the Islanders fucking kidnapped Matilda, and then Earthquake squished Jake the Snake. That's the equivalent of this Larry Steve. Now, granted, there's a hybrid because Larry Steve was more of a crossover reality show pet as opposed to a Matilda storyline pet for the Bulldogs. But the point remains, if I were to judge harshly this situation with Larry Steve and people responding to Larry Steve, I would be dismissing my own childhood and dismissing the power of Damien getting squished, or dismissing Matilda being kidnapped, or Pepper for a younger generation being cooked by the Big Boss Man and served to Al Snow, his owner. Pepper the dog was killed and cremated and put into a stew by the Big Boss Man for Al Snow to eat. He ate his own dog. Storyline. So the point of the matter is this. It's a generation gap. I can see one cynical old man yells at the clouds that this is all absurd and ridiculous and, you know, blah, blah, blah. And on the other hand, you know, people, for whatever it's worth, lived vicariously through Alexa and her pig. The dichotomy of the super hot girl with the big animal pet, like the non sequitur pet pig with the super hot woman. and I guess, you know, the pig slept in the bed with her, and so forth. And so I can judge with critical eyes, I can denounce, and I can ridicule, and I can say I don't understand it, but I do understand it. And here's the next thing. I don't know if it's particularly healthy. I don't know if, you know, owning a farm animal as a pet is a great idea. I don't know. And I don't know if people putting that much energy into this is a good idea. I kind of feel like it's not. However, once again, it's COVID. The world is a dangerous, scary place. A lot of people are on edge right now. A lot of people are walking a tightrope probably between depression and self-destruction, and you know, people are in a bad spot right now. So to try and push people's buttons like this tech historian did, I don't think that's a very humane thing either. I think it's one of those things where you back the fuck off. You know, if you don't have a nice thing to say, or if you find the whole thing absurd and ridiculous, you just back the fuck off and let these people do their thing. And you know, I don't know. I'm being honest. You know, I'm trying to say honest things here. That there's a part of me that's like, what the fuck? And then there's a bigger part of me, once I comprehend the full picture, that says generation gap. People are different. People of this generation, whatever the fuck the generation is, you know, 5 to 25 or 5 to 35 or 5 to 40, whatever it is, they need to connect through the internet, through their fucking Instagram videos. Everyone's hawking something, including fucking me. 721 subscribers, trying to get to 1,000. Everyone's pushing something. And if your life, good, bad, and ugly, and mourning a fucking pig, and I don't mean to say that dismissively, but if that's part of your Alexa Bliss brand, is that she's an owner of exotic pets and she believes in Disney magic, and she's, you know, cute little urchin and 5 foot of power and all these wonderful things, what she's really selling is herself, her marketability. And if being a pet advocate, like exotic pet advocate, is her deal, and she's experiencing loss and mourning and sadness of this Larry Steve the pig, then I guess it's just on brand. As lame, as harsh as it sounds for me to say that, but hey, I'm not the one creating this shit. I'm just observing and making my statements. But and here's the thing, I don't think she's being diabolical or nefarious and trying to sit there and try to manipulate people's emotions. I just think that's part of her generation. Is all OMG, hashtag Larry Steve, we have to do a 2-hour tribute. Oh, of course. And, you know, is she taking time off from wrestling, from WWE for this? Well, why not? I mean, they're the ones that hooked her up with this pig, it would seem, from the TV show. So that's about it. That's about, you know, my thoughts on Larry Steve the pig. Subscribe to Mike Messier YouTube channel is rocking and rolling. Everybody's excited. I will be a guest on Evan Ginsberg's show that just got booked this morning, the Evan Ginsberg show via Skype or some other wonderful technology. Saturday night at 9. Look for Evan Ginsberg, associate producer on The Wrestler, 350 Days film documentary about pro wrestling in the golden era when men worked 350 days a year. And I would say women, but women probably had a lighter schedule, no offense. Mike Messier, thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, share the videos. Larry Steve, RIP.